Greetings brothers, Boris G here from Sofia, Bulgaria. This is actually my first video. I've really wanted to make one for a long time, especially on this topic, which is how to turn your life around if you are or were a criminal. That's a very deep topic for me personally, and I think there's three key parts to it. The first one is asking yourself, do I really truly want this life? What do I mean by that? You know, if you've done any sort of crime or felonies, you know the stress that comes with it, you know the uncertainty of this life, you know the risks. You know, it's just genuinely not a very fulfilling life. And what do you gain from it? You only gain quick money, instant gratification. You don't get anything which is of value in the long run. And you have to ask yourself, is that really something I want to be doing for the rest of my life? If the answer is no, then you need to find a way to make a shift in yourself, in your mindset, in your mind, and in your life, to walk down the righteous path again, to turn away from the darkness and the dark side and go back again into the light. And you know, that's a lot far easier said than done, for sure, and I can attest for that, because I've been on my journey of transformation for around 5 years right now, and it's been a long road. I've lost a lot of my friends, I've lost a lot of people I thought were my friends, and you know, it's just it's life in general, it's like that. But when you make the shift from a criminal to living a better righteous life, then that you can feel it harder in a way, losing all those people you have once counted on. But yeah, whatever. Your question whether you want to do this all your life or not should start with, do you feel fulfilled when you go out, do crimes, like hurt people, sell drugs, whatever it is you're doing? Do you bring any value to the world actually, or do you not? Do you simply add to the negativity of the world, or do you add something positive? I doubt it, really doubt it. And this life is not true freedom. Once I thought that it was, I went after it. I thought, okay, now this is a way I'd be free. That was just a lie that I told myself. It was like I was coping with it. I just didn't want to work a regular 9-to-5 job like everybody else. And I mean, that's okay, but the alternative is not just going outside and starting to beat up people for money, or stealing shit, or whatever it is you're doing, like selling drugs, gang banging, whatever. That's not the way, guys. The way forward is you need to find a purpose, and that is the second main thing. You need to find some purpose, something you can do to bring and add value to the world, something which will help other people rise, something which will uplift others. You cannot bring others down. Only the weak people do that. And that's what I realized. I realized I used to be weak in the past because I was indulging in these dark deeds, hurting people, doing evil shit which caused no positive effect on anyone except negative. And that's not something you want to be doing with your life, man. If you really believe we are just simple flying monkeys spinning in space with no meaning in our life, then okay, I mean, you can probably live a consumer's life and choose to have a life of no meaning and no virtue. But even if that's the case, do you really want to live like that? Or do you want to live a life which, when you get old, you want to look back and say, wow, I really did live a great life, and my life had meaning, my life brought value to people, I helped people? Do you really want the negative? Like when you're old, you're like, oh, why did I do all that stupid shit? Why didn't I do this? Why did I go down that road? You know, you don't want to be asking these questions when you're old. You want to be fulfilled when you're old. You want to die happy. That's what life truly is about. You want to be able to look your children in the eyes and your grandchildren and to have had instilled honorable virtues in them, which they will use to help other people with it. Because we as people, if we do not help each other, then what the fuck is the point of a society, you know? It's simply a degraded... I don't see a point of society if we don't help each other, honestly, guys. That's why I decided to live a life of fulfillment and value. I want to make videos like this, to start helping people who have lost their way or who have never found their way to begin with and have walked mindlessly through life, blown like a leaf in the wind, taken from one place to another with no true meaning, without ever having done anything for themselves. I want that to stop. Nowadays we have a great example every day on the news, on the internet, wherever, of people who have no meaning and no purpose in their life doing dark, stupid shit like mass shootings, like rapes, dark deeds like that, which bring nothing but misery and sadness to the world. And what does that come from? That comes from those people living a life which has no meaning and no purpose. A man who has a life with a purpose will never go do these things, because he has self-respect and he has respect for others, and others have respect for him as well. And the truth, guys, is the life of crime is not really a life of freedom. You are corrupting your very self with this life, because the more you indulge in it, the darker places it will take you. I promise you that the more you indulge in this type of life, to the darker places you will go. Yeah, you will go to darker places, I'm sorry. If you find your purpose in life, and I truly believe that all people, if not all people, then most people for sure, do have a purpose, unless you're some NPC and you're supposed to live a purposeless life, then, I mean, that's unlucky, dude, what can I say? But I truly believe most people have some purpose in this life, something which they were born to do. We all came in this world for some reason. I truly want to believe that, because what is the alternative? The alternative is leading this consumer life of no meaning, no purpose. Everybody's just doing whatever, you know, nothing has any value, we don't care about anything. Do we really want to live like that, guys? Come on, be fucking honest with yourself. Living a life of purpose is far harder than living the life of crime. And why is that? Any fucking person with half a brain can go to someone who is like growing weed or making cocaine or whatever. You can make a deal with him, okay, I'll buy these from you, and you can find some loser who you can supply to, and he can just be a dealer, you know. Any fucking person can go do that. It's fucking easy. Yeah, probably it's not so easy to do it in a way that you don't get caught, but you know, you get what I mean. It's the easy road. And living a life of purpose, trying to provide value to the world, to the people, giving something which fulfills you, that is the harder way. That is the hard, rugged path. And you need to take it. Trust me, guys, you need to walk that path, because it is the only way you will find yourself. You will find who you truly are and what you are meant to do in this world. It is a slower grind for sure, far slower, but the money is clean. Money from crime, it's dirty, fast, instant gratification money. It comes and goes with the same speed. The fast money goes away fast as well. This slow grind will make you into a very different person. Your money will have much more meaning to you. You will use it for better stuff. You will not go and buy drugs and get high or whatever. You will start to see how futile that is and how useless it is, how it brings nothing to your life except misery. And the thing is, you will have something to live for. That is very important. You will have something to live for. and you will be honorable and have virtues. I truly believe that if a man has no honor and no virtues, what the fuck is he then? He's easily manipulated, he's easily controlled by others, and he's easily influenced by others. That's not a man. A man is like an oak tree. You need to be stoic, you need to be unmovable in your beliefs, and you need to have very strong core beliefs. Like, yeah, they should probably be interchangeable, because if they're like dark and wrong, of course you should better yourself every day, but that's a whole nother thing. You need to start self-improving, which is go start working out, start eating healthy, cut out bad habits, bad food, bad people as well, people who have no virtues in life, people who have no purpose, people who don't have a fucking clue what they want to do in life. You need to cut those people out, because those people will drag you down. They will drag you down, believe me, guys. And the thing is, why do people start doing crime? Nowadays, we do not have something like what our forefathers used to have in back in the day, like 1 second, guys. Even a few hundred years ago, I mean, even a few decades ago, people still had some form of rites of passage. That means you can go out in the mountains, away from your village or whatever, and get back with the head of a lion or some shit. And that's how you became a man. That's how you proved yourself that you're a man. And a lot of us come from like broken families, rough childhoods, dark pasts. Some I didn't grow up in a ghetto. I grew up in a middle class family, but my family was kind of broken. That's what I realized eventually pushed me into this lifestyle, but that doesn't matter right now. Everybody should have a rites of passage, and the lack of this rite of passage causes young men to seek this in a different type of form. And yes, some of them find discipline thanks to their fathers or brothers or whatever, who push them forward to go. Like, for example, you need to go start training some combat sport or whatever it is when you're young. You build that discipline, you build that life. It's harder for you to go and indulge in dark deeds when you have that strong foundation in you. And when you don't have that, you seek that thing in other places. Like it was for me, I felt like I was not enough ever. I felt like I wasn't manly enough, and I needed to go fight on the streets to prove myself and to my peers that I'm a man and shit like that. That's a fake rites of passage, if you ask me. It is a form of rites of passage. I did grow up to be much braver. I am not afraid of fighting. I'm not afraid of confrontation, stuff like that. But that is not the point of it. The point of it is to grow up into a man. You need the rites of passage, and the lack of it nowadays is what's causing all of this chaos in the world. Because a lot of people, they don't go down the dark path, but they don't grow up to be men. They grow up to be big boys. You know what kind of people I'm talking about? The kind of people which you're up in your room with your wife and you hear a noise downstairs, and what do? They call the fucking police. No, man, you don't call the fucking police. You go downstairs and you confront the fucking intruder. That's what a man does. The weakness in today's society comes from the lack of rites of passage, from the lack of discipline, self improvement, purpose. And a lot of you might blame your fathers for it, which was what I was doing, but yeah, it could be their fault up to a point, but after that it's your own fault. What did you do about it? Okay, your father was a drunkard, he was weak, undisciplined, unmotivated, he didn't really teach you many things. Okay, once you get older, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna go down the same road he did? Or are you gonna become a better man? That's what you have to ask yourself. And one last thing I want to talk about, guys. The third major point is you will start losing your friends. And by friends, I mean those friends with whom you have indulged in the dark deeds, in the crime life. You will start losing your criminal friends. And that's a good and a bad thing, of course. Because The good thing is you will start to lose the influence which drags you down into that path, but the bad thing is you will feel really lonely for a long time until you can find real friends who actually bring value to your life, who actually bring some meaning to your life, who actually help you get better, who actually inspire you to get better, to be better and to do better. I am extremely grateful to the world, to the gods, to God, to the force, to the source of life, whatever the fuck power there is in the world, in the universe. I'm truly grateful for it, to have had a couple of such friends throughout the years who stuck up with me in the darkest of my periods, when I was a fucking completely different person. I was an asshole to them. I was completely trash as a person, and I am really grateful to the world to have them, and especially to them for sticking up with me. They know who they are. I'm really grateful for them because they helped me realize that this is the road I need to be walking, not the dark road. It's not a life of fulfillment, and it's inevitable, guys. If you want to change yourself and go from the dark side to the light side, you will lose your friends who are still stuck in that corrupt life. You will lose them, I promise you that, or at the very least your relationship with them will become far weaker and strained, and you will start to feel like they're not really that much of your friend anymore. Although I admit I do still have a few friends from that life who I still cherish and still think of as someone who will help me if I need to, and of course if they do need help, I will help them as well. I still think of them as brothers, but some of them are still stuck in this kind of life, and it's a little bit sad, but I mean, it is what it is. You cannot really do anything about it. We all have our cross on our backs, as it's said in my language. But it's inevitable, guys. Once you start leveling up, and what I mean by that is once you start realizing yourself, your purpose, what you want to do in life, you will start to level up, and you will lose all of those people who do not want that for themselves. And that's good, because they will stop dragging you down, and you will only be able to rise up faster and easier. And that's good, because you will achieve your goals faster. And you will be able to find real friends, such who will probably share the same values and virtues as yourself, who will have purposes of their own, who will be chasing a life of meaning, not a life of emptiness. And you really need to think about yourself and whether you're adding to the negativity in life or the positivity of it. If you only add negative shit in other people's lives, then you will receive negative shit back, because the energy you put out in the world and the energy you put out in the universe is what you will get back. A couple of last words I want to add, guys, is that most of you guys are not truly evil. You didn't choose this life and this path because you're evil and because you were meant to walk it. You chose it because you were broken for some reason, and you need to do deep inner work to try and find out why, when and how you chose that life, why you chose it, what made you go down that road. Try to find a way in yourself to heal from that pain and from that trauma, perhaps, to stop yourself from indulging any further in that life, because that's not a fulfilling life. Once you find your purpose and get disciplined, you will start to reap the positives in life. Sorry about that. And the way to do that is you just have to cut out the bad habits, cut out the bad people, cut out the bad lifestyle, make conscious decisions and conscious choices to live righteously, get disciplined, and you will be back on that light road, guys, and the righteous path. I promise you that, guys. And lastly, I want to say a quote that the best man is the man who is capable of great violence, but chooses to only use that violence to protect those he loves and those who cannot protect themselves, and not use that violence just because he can use it. Stay strong and stay real, guys. Boris G out.